Oxford, London, what's an S with me?
True, too. Canada.
So I get a bet though?
Huh?
I get a bet though?
Yeah, if the person who bet on it goes on to win, you get $50.
I think that Robert's gonna win.
Name a word that starts with inter. Inter, such as intersection. Give you one. Miles, you're up.
Interview.
Microbial?
Interracial.
Interchangeable.
Interdisciplinary. Interplanetary. Interdimensional.
Intergalactic.
Intersex. Inter.
Intercellular.
Alright, guys. I have interspecies. You good? Name a word that starts with A and has 7 or more letters. Pablo? Alphabet?
Anthropology. Archetype.
Atypical.
Accordion. Anti-disciplinarianism.
That's a really long word.
Hard part.
Australopithecus hominid.
Astronomer.
Atmosphere.
Anesthesiologist.
You guys did a good job. I had admiration. Name a famous movie that came out before 1990. Miles?
Folding and Knife.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I'm pretty sure that came out before.
Tommy Boy.
Is that in the 80s? Are you sure it's not the 90s?
I think it's 80s.
I'll check it. That's 95. Go again. I like Landon. You can tell him something. You can tell him something that you think I might have.
Romeo and Juliet.
Psycho.
Airplane. King Kong was the first one.
Citizen Kane. Before 1990, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
It's not the 90s?
That was before.
Right. Go.
Beginning. Great.
Great for black.
Alright, guys. I have Die Hard. I feel like I'm going to get one of you here. Name a famous businessman, dead or alive. Pablo.
Pablo Picasso.
Mexican network guy.
Yeah, it was the worst businessman for a while.
Big dogs. I don't know, Pablo Escobar.
That's a banger. That's a banger.
Rambo. Comment section, gonna love that.
Rockefeller.
Of course.
Jeffrey Epstein.
JD, right. Epstein.
That's definitely
He was right. He was actually a fat, but keep going.
I might feel what they more about it.
Tom Ford.
Lawrence Stroll.
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford.
Well, I just
No,
Jeez.
Tom Ford is good.
That's true, yeah.
Fashionista.
You say on rock? I'll listen to that. Stop.
Alright, guys. Mark Cuban.
I was gonna say.
Name a bird. Miles. Bird.
You go Falcons. Can I go Peregrine Falcon or not?
No, you can't.
Okay. I'll go. I'll take two good. Blue Jays. Toronto Blue Jays.
Swan next. Swan do it.
Emerald Hummingbird.
Rosette Spoonbill. Canary. Kiwi.
Parakeet.
A seagull. Lizzie.
Cassowary.
I have macaw. Name a famous building.
Ooh. Some both could be really moving.
Okay.
Big Ben. Eiffel Tower.
And DS of what?
What is it?
The DS of what?
Okay.
St. Peter's Basilica. The World Trade Center, but referring to before 2001.
The Twin Towers.
Sears Tower.
Coliseum.
Combs Cathedral or Combs Cathedral?
Golden 7.
The what?
Bank of America building?
Nice. Surprise! That you said Jeffrey Epstein's a church in his name. Okay. I have the Pentagon. I can't believe none of you said that. Name a black animal.
Black Panther. Black Ant. Sure.
It's a hard question.
Bat.
Blackbird.
What's so special about Domino's specialty pizzas? Your taste buds will know. Your recipe, they'll know.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. Like how the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. That's refreshing. Oh, smart. Lock the price of your plan for 3 years. Just another way we keep you a step ahead. Get Grab out and cash in for an incentive of $500 or more. Visit Phoenix.com/grab.
Never stop to quit every time you got me rocking and I'm feeling all it was
What?
Oh, Blackbird?
I was thinking like
Okay.
solar.
What's that? Fly is black.
Is that black or black? Okay.
Orca.
Garden State?
Not garden, but the racer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Black
I'm gonna go with dark.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna take it. I'll go with the bear.
Okay.
Penguin.
Oh, good. Black Mamba. Name a city in the northeast U.S.
Other.
Boston.
You can do that. But by the way, you guys need to sabotage her. Give her one of these things that I have.
I'll go with New Jersey.
Very cute. Wait, pick one.
Which one is that? One sec.
Okay.
New Jersey. I'm gonna go with New Paltz, New York.
Albany, New York. Montpelier, Vermont.
Yeah, Burlington, Vermont.
Bro, get the fuck.
Province for that.
Illinois considered northeast? No, okay, I don't think so. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Concord.
And Boston. Name a carnivore.
Wow.
Anthony.
These fly
No, it's a plant. That's not an animal.
That's a carnivore.
No,
Now,
it's not an animal. Okay. Carnivorous plant. Isn't
that's
that
an excellent thing, though.
I know.
American crop.
Okay, cheetah.
Wolf.
What?
Wolf.
Okay.
Alligator.
Makes no fucking sense.
Time out. Time out. Start it.
YouTube.
What's going on, everybody? This Afro think tank. White man explains why white men are the way they are. And I think this guy does a great job in explaining, to people why um, European Americans act certain ways. I mean, there's a reason for it, right? White folks just don't wake up saying, yeah, I'm choosing balance today. There's no reason, right? There's always a reason, right? If you look hard enough, you can find an answer to why everything, and that is how you fix problems. Is find the reason. You find the why, right? You look for why someone does something, right? And then you go, you see if you can solve that why, right? And if you get to another why, see if you can solve that other why. You always ask why you can get to the root of the problem, because a lot of us, what we do is we react to the reaction to the action. A domino effect. You tip the first domino over, all the dominoes start to fall. But none of the dominoes, other than the first one, knows why it's tipping over and falling on the other one, right? But the reason why all that is happening is because the first one decides to choose balance and tip over a domino, right? You got to get to the first domino and figure out what is that first domino? How can we fix that first domino in order to make it so we all can just stand up and be peaceful with the space necessary, all right, for us to be upright and perfect. All right, so without further ado, let's listen to this white man explain to us who are curious to why, not just reacting based off what they are doing now, but are really truly interested in the why so that we can either avoid certain situations or see if we can facilitate fixing or changing that situation. Because we can ramble all day on the internet about this person doing that person doing that, but if there's no solutions, right? If there's no, because the thing is, we're all adults, right? For the most part, that's the point, right? And the thing is, we have a responsibility to leave a better world for our children. Therefore, we have a responsibility, as we are still functioning human beings, to leave a better future for our children. That's supposed to be the way it works. I mean, it ain't really working that way because so far, ain't none of our goddamn granddaddies and great granddaddies and great great granddaddies giving two shits, all right, about what it is, leave us not, all right. They've been busy trying to world conquer and dominate.
Yo, we are back with another video, and today, your boy had to spoil himself, man. Today, your boy will go from window shopping, if that's what I'm doing right now, to finally getting his hands on a very expensive late Christmas gift. Now, Victor Wembanyama came out in the Tis the Season promo, and your boy has been trying to get him for the past couple of days, but his price just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. Because this card is stat by stat the best card in the game. If you have this card, you are set for the year. This Victor Wembanyama is so soon that he's demanding nearly 10 million MT. Going for roughly 8 million, 8.5 with 3 hours left. You can see my MT count is 8 million plus. But it didn't come easy, y'all. It did not come easy at all. I
am missing 2 spots in my lineup because of this. If you've been keeping track of my No Money Spent videos and my videos overall, I don't have a point guard or a shooting guard anymore. I don't have Shea. I don't have Paul George. I have liquidated my assets that I can sell. And if we go through my collection, it didn't just stop there, y'all. I sat through hundreds of pages of silver shoes, hundreds of pages of gold shoes, hundreds of pages of bronze shoes. Quick sold them all. I quick sold hundreds of pages of consumables, of badges, of things that I didn't need. I condensed. I didn't just sell badges. Back up a little bit. I sold takeovers. I sold badges. I sold duplicate players. I sold anything that had value. I literally have gone all in. And this is all for this one man. This one alien. This one super freak. Victor. What a young. So I'm going to closely keep an eye on this card. And by the end of this video, again, going to go from window shopping to obtaining the best center in the game. But if you like the sound of that, I'm going to need you guys to do one thing for me. I did a lot to make this possible, but I only ask that you guys please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications because we got nothing but more bangers on the way. Guys, compare this card, Victor Wembanyama, with Hoodie Mello. Debatably, it's not debatable. The two best cards in the game for a no money spent account just had to be done. And essentially, as soon as I get this card, I will be starting from zero. So if you guys want to see how I'm going to reclaim all the players I sold or start from zero and go all the way back up, it's becoming a reality sooner than later, guys. I mean, I really was doing anything and everything to make some MP. I was sniping. I was sniping Wild Gem Timberwolves players, 1,400, 2K, 1,400, and just selling them for 13K. I was working the auction house. I was playing the game crazy. Like, look at all these beautiful snipes that I'm getting. I got both of my cards that I told you guys, SGA and Paul George had to go. I love those cards, but it was for the greater good. It's for the sacrifice. This Wembanyama is very rare, very expensive, and I just need him, bro. I need him. The game is about having fun, and I feel like with that card, I'm going to have a whole lot of fun. So, enough yapping, as the kids will say. We are going to fast forward to if I can finally call this card my own. We can finally finish. We finally got a Christmas game late, but Christmas big. Oh my God. Before I went to sleep, I did everything that I have amounted to. Quick selling any a bit of FP that I could scrap up, and I hit 8.3. And this morning, keep in mind, I've been doing this for the past 2 or 3 days, and it hasn't worked. This morning, I wake up to this. I won the game. I got 975,019 that I got this card for 7.4 million. And if I go on the auction house right now, it's the base of what Webby's are selling for with 2 hours left. Yo, we finally got one, guys. I am so excited to have that card on my team. Look, I was selling takeovers for scraps. I have nothing in my collection anymore. This really absorbed everything, but I got kind of came back. So maybe I can go buy one of those players that I sold. I didn't want to sell Paul George. Maybe I can go back and get them up for a good price. I can still work on my NFT for that. But let's get into this gameplay because that is what I really am looking shoe on him. I know he comes with the shoe, but I'm putting chef on it. Up. We're about to create a monster. That's easy. Oh. Why not? Absolutely fly. Brick wall. Yep. Challenger. Yep. You know, today's adventure. Look specialist. With shadows. Move one force. Definitely. Legend. Now we should have every single bag either for the price. And I can still work on my MC for that. But, you know, let's get into his gameplay because that is what I really am looking forward to. I also got to put a shoe on him. I know he comes with the shoe, but I'm putting chef on it.
Oh! Oh!
We're about to create a monster. That's easy. Oh. Why not? Let it absolutely fly. Brick wall. Yep. Challenger. Yep. Yesterday, you betcha. So special. Special. Move one force. Definitely. Legend. 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 And now we should have every single bag either purple or red. And now my 7-4 with the my 7-4 Victor Wembanyama is about to take over. 74 wins. He's got 50 games. Let's go to high. It's time for the main open. Let's take over. First shot. First scene. I used to go to freestyle. I already knew that. Money release is going to take to the promised land. You can take the defense. I don't have a shooting guard right now. It's all going to soul. So Stephen Curry is playing to probably a good shot over every single play if I had to guess. I mean, I was playing Stephen Curry. I would do the same thing. Yo, baby in the corner. You can get a test on it. Yo, baby in the corner. You can get a test on it. So, security thing to shot open everything. Yes. If I was playing secretary, I would do the same thing. Yo, baby in the corner. You can get a test on it. Like you just can't, even if you tried, it contest. You can't. It's impossible. And that's why he's worthing an 8 million plus price tag. Because look what's occurred on the court. President. I think that was pretty good. Now, you gotta deal with me. Just go to the rim. See what he's out. If he's out and about, red distribution. I'm not playing on rookie mode. I have takeover. If he is like we're on rookie mode, though, please go going to be. Go going to be. Don't jump it. Don't jump. Curry. A little bit of a spark. He leaves the timeout, and he is absolutely out of here. As predicted. Wemby, 100% from the field. Mr. Glitch is what I'm going to start calling him. Mr. Glitch because he is a glitch. Now I have two undeniable powerhouses. And my team is only going to keep getting better. I got to keep grinding out, get more legend badges, but eventually we're going to max this one out. Getting better. I gotta keep grinding out, get more legend badges, but eventually we're going to actually find out the
Wow.
He's gonna be more unfair than he is right now, which is hard to believe. Oh, did I forget about these? Oh, looks like I did. Not anymore. Reloaded. Play me in showdowns with this card. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna do. Okay.
Oh my
Love ya.
fucking.
Appreciate you. Webby's a go. We got him. Let's get him.
Oh, LeBron, damn, bitch. Fucking faggot, bitch. I mean, you fucking suck dick, you faggot, bitch. The father of four, no hands or legs. It's crazy.
What's this here? It's the real deal. It's doing something off.
So this is Dr. Conway. Today I will analyze the case of Jason and Crystal Panic. First I'll look at the background of this case due to the timeline of the crime that I'll for my analysis. Jason Paul Kenny was born in 1978 and lived in Lakeland, Florida. In November 2023, he married a woman named Crystal. She had a daughter and a son from a prior relationship. In December 2024, Jason and Crystal had a daughter together. Around the same time, the family of five moved into a double-wide trailer on Lemon Avenue in the Highland City neighborhood of Lakeland, Florida. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On Monday, December 22, 2025, just before 11 p.m., the police received a 911 call from a neighbor of the Kenny family. Crystal's 12-year-old son had run to the neighbor's house and asked her to call 911 because his stepfather, Jason, was fighting with his mother. The 12-year-old reported hearing a single gunshot as he ran on the family home. Emergency responders arrived on Lemon Avenue within a few minutes. Inside the house, officers found Crystal Kenny dead from a gunshot wound to the head. Her 13-year-old daughter was found in one of the bedrooms. She had been shot twice, once in the shoulder, once in the face. The bullet to the face hit the bridge of her nose and went up her forehead. She was taken to a hospital in critical but stable condition. She is expected to survive. Jason's 1-year-old daughter was found in her crib, unharmed. The obvious suspect in Crystal's murder and the attempted murder of her daughter was Jason. The police tracked him to a residence on 10th Street South in Lake Wales, which had been owned by his father, who died in July 2024. The property was in probate and someone was living there. When the police arrived, they realized that Jason had barricaded himself inside a shed on the property. They ordered him to exit the shed, mostly because of the murder part. Right after this, they heard a single gunshot. They entered the shed and found Jason dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head. He was 47 years old. The police were able to piece together the events leading up to the murder. During the evening, Jason Kenny was in the shed right next to his house. He was consuming alcohol and watching the NFL game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts. The game started at 8:15 p.m. Evidently, Jason was a fan of the 49ers. When the game was down to the last few minutes, he left the shed and entered his house. His wife, Crystal, suggested that they watch something else on TV, perhaps because it was obvious the 49ers would be victorious. They would go on to defeat the Colts 48-27. Jason and Crystal started arguing. This is when Crystal sent her 12-year-old son to a neighbor's house to call 911. Presumably, the gunshot he heard when he exited the house was the one that killed Crystal. After murdering Crystal, Jason shot his stepdaughter twice. Despite her being seriously injured, she was able to talk to the police. Referring to Jason, she said, "I begged him, don't shoot me, don't shoot me, don't shoot me," and he shot me anyway. As Jason was driving away from his house in his pickup truck, he called his sister, who lives in upstate New York. He told her that he had done something very, very bad and was not going to jail for life. She would see him in the news. At the time I'm making this video, the police are continuing their investigation. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number one. There is no doubt about who was responsible for the shooting. It was Jason Kenny. He murdered his wife, Crystal, and intended to murder his 13-year-old stepdaughter. The mystery in this case is not about guilt. And number two, earlier on the day of the shooting, Jason appeared to be in a good mood. At 4:22 p.m., about 6.5 hours before the shooting, he posted a meme showing elderly people dancing with the caption, "Mood knowing the 49ers play tonight." Clearly, his mood made a dramatic and negative shift, considering the homicidal behavior he would later demonstrate. Item number three, one family member said that Jason had been beating Crystal for quite some time, but the police indicated there had never been any calls for service to the Kennedy family residence, and Jason had no criminal record. It is surprising to see a man go from no criminal history directly to murder and attempted murder. Many men who ultimately commit murder engage in a series of antisocial behaviors beforehand, usually over the course of several years. This often results in a criminal record. Based on a handwritten note the police found inside the house, it appears as though Crystal had some concerns about Jason's behavior. The note, which was from Crystal to Jason, read, quote, "You are drinking, you are using cocaine again. This is not the way the family should be. You need God," unquote. The note was undated. Police do not know when it was written. However, it was found open and in plain view. This is consistent with the reason. One thing I found interesting about the note is the use of the word again, which suggests Jason had used cocaine in the past. Using cocaine even once is a crime. Jason did not have a criminal record, but he very easily could have, based on his alleged behavior. Item number 4, a religious theme emerged in the relationship between Jason and Crystal. The note that Crystal left for Jason contained a reference to God. She suggested that Jason needed God to overcome his alcohol and cocaine problem. And on the day of the murder, Jason responded on social media to a video of a pastor featuring the caption, "Satan wants your wife. I always tell men if they don't leave their family, Satan will." As it turns out, Crystal did not need to worry about Satan as much as her own husband. Jason was Satan in the end. Item number 5. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, in my opinion. The motive for the murder, an attempted murder, is a bit of a mystery. It seems clear that Jason and Crystal argued before the shooting, but most arguments don't result in homicide. Jason had been drinking, which can be very dangerous, but just like fighting, does not typically result in gunfire. There has been a lot of talk about the specific nature of the fight, like there was something about Crystal interfering with Jason watching the football game that set him off. Jason watched the majority of the game in his shed. He could have simply returned there to watch the rest of it if he was that worried about it. The team he liked, the 49ers, was headed to victory. Jason should have been in a good mood. Another bizarre element of the shooting is how Jason attempted to kill his 13-year-old stepdaughter. There have been many cases where a husband loses control and shoots his wife. Maybe Jason let his impulsivity get the best of him in the heat of the moment. Alcohol use could have made that impulsivity even worse. If this was the case,
Camping World is America's used RV supercenter. We have over 22,000 quality pre-owned RVs in stock that have been deep cleaned and odor neutralized, waste systems flushed and sanitized, and have a brand new mattress. Buy your next RV with confidence at Camping World.
Alcohol, it slows the function and development of the brain. It can also hurt your grades and friendships. It increases stress, anxiety, and depression. Be a thinker, not a drinker, and get the facts at learnmoreaz.org.
Struggling to afford presents for the holidays? My granddaughter.
Magic Johnson?
Shocking.
it still does not explain why Jason would target his stepdaughter. Jason's actions lead me to believe that there was some other type of animosity he was harboring. After he shot Crystal, perhaps he thought to himself that he might as well settle every score and wipe out everyone he was angry with. I find it curious that Jason did not target his own daughter. Again, she was found unharmed in a crib. Maybe Jason wanted to hurt Crystal even beyond killing her, so he targeted her daughter to maximize the damage. Now moving to my final item, number 6. This case has generated a lot of attention in part due to the timing. The attempted murder occurred 3 days before Christmas. Many people are shocked that anyone would commit murder in the Christmas season, believing the joy associated with the holiday should grant a protective effect. Family-centric holidays like Christmas have an interesting impact on homicidal risk. Certain types of homicides are less likely, like those occurring in the public space. A good example is the decrease in gang-related murders. Even gang members celebrate Christmas, so they spend time at home instead of looking for trouble on the street. The risk for other types of homicides, like those involving intimate partner violence or family annihilator scenarios, increases at Christmas. There are several reasons for this. Families spend a lot of uninterrupted time together in close quarters. This leads to uncomfortable and sometimes controversial conversations, which can resurface old conflicts. There are heightened emotional expectations during Christmas. Many people want Christmas to turn out a certain way, to match some type of ideal based on nostalgia. They want to journey back to a simpler time in their lives and have a perfect moment. Invariably, things go wrong. Financial stress increases at Christmas as people try to figure out how they're going to pay for all the gifts. And alcohol consumption increases dramatically. People focus on celebration, and they do not have to go to work. Christmas may seem like a safe time of year because people are surrounded by family, but the very dynamic that seems protective can actually lead to homicide. Those are my thoughts on the case of Jason and Crystal Kenny. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. In this case, it's possible that alcohol contributed to the tragic outcome. There is no indication that Jason intended to kill his wife and his stepdaughter well in advance. Like, this wasn't something he was working on for days. This is the decision that he made in the heat of the moment. Alcohol may have played a major part in that decision because it increased his impulsivity. It allowed his feelings to run the show. He did not have the same ability that he normally would have had to control himself. I find it interesting that people introduce alcohol and other substances into their lives without trying to balance the risk in some other way. In this case, we see the use of alcohol paired with the possession of a firearm. The risk simply isn't worth it. The alcohol creates a danger. Removing firearms from the house would help mitigate that danger. The risk could be reduced by taking precautions. Instead, he consumed alcohol and had a gun in his house somewhere. It was obviously not too difficult to access considering he used it on short notice. In many cases like this, other people who are around the person who eventually commits homicide know that this individual is consuming alcohol or using other substances and has access to one or more firearms. Yet, we rarely see situations where they say that the guns have to be removed or else they're not going to stay in the house. Like, they can't stop the person from drinking, but they may be able to restrict access to firearms. That rarely occurs to people. The firearms allow the impulsivity to be a lot more dangerous. So taking them out of the equation would greatly reduce the risk. Again, people don't tend to think of that. They focus on the alcohol and how dangerous that is. They recognize that that's not going anywhere good, but they fail to take preventive measures. They think that the person may be hazardous, but for some reason, they would never reach for a gun. This case illustrates the dangers of that way of thinking. Even if somebody doesn't want to leave a partner because the partner is addicted to substances, they could put their foot down and say, we're not going to have firearms in the house if the drinking continues. There has to be some effort to mitigate the risk. This is Dr. Ganta. Today I will analyze the case of Tiffany Griffith. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the alleged crime, and offer my analysis. Tiffany Lee Griffith was born on November 8, 1989, and lived in Fort Myers, Florida. In 2013 to 2018, she worked as a police officer in the Dakota Border Police Department. Then her last name was Viola. In 2016, she was the employee of the border. I can picture Tiffany going for an interview and being asked, so have you ever been employee of the year? She responds, no.
Oh my God.
I was once employee of the quarter, which is 25% as good. Tiffany was a school resource officer stationed at a high school. She taught students about conflict resolution, safety, and common crimes that occur in high school. She also educated them on the dangers of sexting and bullying. Tiffany was married to a man named William Griffith. They lived in a 1,500 square foot house on Cedarwood Drive in Fort Myers. By 2025, it appeared as though the couple had 2 sons, and only one was involved in the story. He was 7 years old. According to Tiffany, he had autism spectrum disorder and was nonverbal. Now moving to the timeline of the alleged crime. On Friday, December 19, 2025, at 4:39 p.m., the police responded to the Gaylord Palms Resort Convention Center in Kissimmee, Florida, following a report of a disturbance involving children at the pool. Witnesses told the police that 3 children were playing in the pool when the splashing became aggressive. The pool was 2 feet deep. The police reviewed video surveillance captured by a camera at the hotel. At 4:22 p.m., Tiffany Griffith could be seen entering the pool and approaching a group of children. One of these children was a 6-year-old boy, who I will refer to as John Doe. Tiffany splashed the children with water. She then placed her hands on John Doe's shoulders and dunked him under the water for about 2 seconds. He was fully submerged during that time. After releasing him, she splashed water on him again before exiting the pool. According to witnesses, Tiffany appeared to be calm when she entered the water. After the dunking, John Doe exited the pool and reported the incident to his parents. His nose was bleeding, and he was visibly upset. Tiffany followed John Doe and began yelling at his mother, indicating he had drowned her son. After this, Tiffany was pulled away by a man who appeared to be her husband, and they left the area. The police spoke to Tiffany. She told them that her 7-year-old son had autism spectrum disorder. John Doe dumped her son underwater while they were in the pool. She entered the pool to protect her son from being drowned. She pulled her son out of the pool and approached John Doe's mother. The police showed Tiffany video surveillance where she dunked John Doe. Tiffany said, "I was protecting my son." Tiffany Griffith was arrested and eventually charged with child abuse. The initial charge was aggravated, that was downgraded. The charge Tiffany is facing is a third-degree felony, which carries a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. In a bond hearing on December 23, 2025, Tiffany's husband William testified about the incident. He indicated that John Doe repeatedly dunked his son. William said, "Tiffany and I basically looked at each other and asked where this kid's parents were. Why weren't they watching him?" He went on to say that his son came up out of the water crying, and the kid pushed him under again. This is when Tiffany entered the water and separated them. Tiffany Griffith was released on a $20,000 bond. She is not permitted to contact John Doe or his family, and she is not permitted to consume alcohol. Now moving to my analysis. Tiffany Griffith maintains her innocence, and she has a fair number of supporters. They argue that John Doe, the 6-year-old boy, represented a threat to Tiffany's son when he allegedly dunked him into the water a few times. Tiffany was acting in defense of her mother when she briefly submerged John Doe. The state of Florida, of course, disagrees. They argue that Tiffany acted in retaliation. She just wanted to get revenge on John Doe. The attack she conducted was a significant overreaction, especially considering the boy's age. This brings me to the question, is Tiffany guilty? Let's take a look at the evidence both for and against the idea that she is guilty, starting with the inculpatory factors. The felony with which Tiffany is charged requires an intentional act. She admitted that she acted intentionally. This was not an accident. Based on the video surveillance, John Doe was not an active threat when Tiffany pushed him under the water. He may have attacked her son prior to this, at least based on what Tiffany and her husband said, but that attack had concluded by the time Tiffany took action. When Tiffany released John Doe and walked away, she splashed him with water. There was no defense of another purpose for this. Rather, her behavior was more consistent with anger. John Doe allegedly had a nosebleed. This makes it seem like his nose may have been struck during the alleged attack. Maybe his face struck the bottom of the pool when Tiffany pushed him under the water. This amount of force seems particularly unnecessary. If Tiffany really believed that dunking John Doe was required to defend her son, why didn't she notify the police and report John Doe's dangerous behavior? Moving to the exculpatory factors, the nosebleed that John Doe allegedly had could have been caused by something other than Tiffany's behavior. Maybe he injured his nose during his alleged attack of Tiffany's son, or there was some other unknown cause. Being pushed underwater is very frightening, but John Doe was only there for about 2 seconds. This is the kind of interaction that would never have attracted law enforcement attention 50 years ago. It would have been categorized as horseplay or incidental. Tiffany may have overreacted, but she claimed John Doe was the aggressor. He should have never allegedly dunked Tiffany's son even one time, much less repeatedly. Where were the parents of John Doe during this incident? Was he unsupervised in a swimming pool? Why didn't they stop the alleged attack of Tiffany's son? If the parents really were not attentive, maybe Tiffany felt a sense of urgency to intervene. She was her son's only hope against this alleged bullet. When considering all the evidence in this case, do I believe that Tiffany Griffith is guilty? In my opinion, she is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of misdemeanor battery. The felony charge is an overreach based on facts. Tiffany could have honestly but unreasonably believed that the force she used was not.
Do you know Hobby Lobby has hundreds of incredible products on sale every single week? Just check out our weekly ad to discover.
Folk talk about Blackwater being beautiful on the surface, but dark at heart.
Ah, damn. Oh, fuck. Motherfuckers know how to shut a door? Retarded faggots?
They're saying they're gonna fight for you. Yeah, until you read the. Bring you back. Please don't. No, 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 no. Shoot you. Genocide. I need help.
Shoppers browsing for costumes and spooky decorations are shocked when a deadly shooting erupts in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The fatal encounter is captured by a body cam, but the man wearing it isn't a police officer. He's a security guard assigned to a Spirit Halloween store.
Why kill somebody? Why? Why?
The following report is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until now. Please note that all persons charged with a crime are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in the court of law. On October 16, 2025, a 25-year-old armed security guard named Josiah Armijo is keeping watch at his current post, a Spirit Halloween seasonal costume store that seems to greatly require his services. Guard named Josiah Armijo is keeping watch at his current post, a Spirit Halloween seasonal costume store that seems to greatly require his services.
I'm being under control of requesting an 82. Got 5 documents currently stolen from the store at the Spirit off of Carlisle Indian School. Hey, I'm calling concealing it. Hey guys, I need you to leave the store. I need you guys to leave the store. I saw you concealing the shirt. I need you and your friends to leave. Let's go. Put the hat down. Let's go. Put this stuff down. You guys are no longer welcome in the Spirit, alright? This idiot stuck a shirt in his pants. I kicked them all out.
Josiah handles the situation, not knowing that he's less than an hour away from a much more serious encounter that will change the course of his life. It begins when a customer's appearance attracts the attention of Josiah and store employees.
Yeah, ask me if he's good. He's bleeding from his hands.
I know. I know he is.
He's smoked out. He's smoked out. Like,
You think he wants to. I know where he's at. I've been trying to keep an eye on him.
I'll watch you by the way.
I am. Stripping, bro.
Josiah moves to a position where he can better watch the man. Authorities will later identify as 41-year-old Chase Beltramo. When Chase heads for the front door with items he hasn't purchased, Josiah breaks into his friend, and a chaotic, violent encounter begins.
Oh. Oh, what? All right, write down.
Time out. Time out. Start it.
You hear me?
Here we go.
D up on Anthony. Hey, watch that.
Victor Wembanyama. Three. Carmelo Anthony. CJ McCollum. Victor Wembanyama. For three. At the line for two, CJ McCollum. Victor Wembanyama.
John Havlicek with the shot. Basket by Carl Anthony Towns.
Victor Wembanyama.
John Havlicek with the shot.
Brandon Roy. Assist from Carmelo Anthony. Phoenix foul. LeBron James. First personal foul. First team foul. At the line for two, Dominique Wilkins. TJ Gibson. The assist by Daryl Griffith. 2 minutes remaining in the game. 2 minutes. Phoenix foul. Brandon Roy. First personal foul. Second team foul. At the line for two, Dominique Wilkins. Victor Wembanyama.
Dominique Wilkins.
Carmelo Anthony.
It's all good.
Oh! 24-second shot clock violation. The ball goes to Phoenix. Carmelo Anthony, 3 points.
Good boy, good boy. It's raining, baby.
4-point basket. Carmelo Anthony.
John Havlicek for three.
Victor Weber.
Timeout. Timeout. Start it.
And your Breaker Dance Crew. Your home team dancers. John Havlicek for three.
Home team foul. Daryl Griffith. First personal foul. team foul. At the line for the away team, Carmelo Anthony. Home team foul. Taj Gibson. First personal foul. Second team foul. Shooting for Phoenix, Chris Bosh. 2 shots.